Hello, 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 and welcome to Storytime with the Grown Woman. It's still swag, even though we're in a different location, it's still swag. Now, me and my sidekick over here, we had to get this video in today because y'all have been asking, where's Mama Swag? Mama Swag says it's too cold and it's too rainy and she ain't going outside. So we came and brought the set to her. But yeah, Mama said she wasn't coming out, y'all. So the most viewed video for last week was the video where Sarah decided to terminate her pregnancy with DC. Now, you guys had a lot to say about it, but I wanted to know, what is Mom's perspective on this? Now, I told y'all what I thought about it. Let's look at a little clip and we're going to come back.
I'm really struggling with the whole thing. Like, I really don't want to take this second pill.
It's a decision that you did make. You prayed about it. And
I'm not sure how I feel about Daddy saying you prayed about it and basically saying God told you to do this. I'm all for what she did. I am all for it. So, I was all for it because, and I was for Sarah not telling DC. So, was I in the hot seat this week? I don't know. We're going to talk about the comments, but I do know some of you guys were not in favorable of me saying I would do it without even saying anything to DC. Now, Mom, what are your thoughts on terminating a pregnancy? Do you think a person should keep the baby, or terminate a pregnancy?
I think she should terminate it.
Why do you think she should terminate?
She probably don't want to kill money.
So that's just it?
That's just it.
I was not expecting that, y'all. I was not expecting Mama to say that. Yeah, I'm really shocked. I was not expecting for you to say that. Have you ever?
No, I always been on the head them jokers.
Mama said I just went on and had them jokers. Now my mother you didn't want children, right? Were you not really in favor of having children?
Mm-mm.
So if I understand correctly and remember correctly, you was on birth control and you was still getting pregnant on birth control. Mm-hmm. So Mom, I do kind of understand why she's saying what she's saying, because Mom was on birth control and she was still getting pregnant. So she found out that her body was fighting against it. And, it's just what it is. She just kept getting pregnant, but she kept us and brought us in the world. But as far as Sarah's situation and other situations, Mama says, shoot, I'm in favor. So Mama say I'm in favor. So Deborah Taylor 6986 says, God ain't told nobody to get rid of a baby. Remember, thou shalt not kill. And Deborah is right. That is what the Bible says, thou shalt not kill. But I personally don't feel like that was in reference to terminating a pregnancy. I think that was in reference to murdering somebody for something, like, if they slept with your wife and you go murder them, or they robbed you, you murder them. I don't think that was in favor of or in reference to terminating. Mm-hmm. Terminating pregnancies are not as easy as they used to be, but it's still your body, your choice. And you have religious people who are in favor of this, of terminating pregnancies. I think it depends on certain situations.
True.
where people will understand terminating a pregnancy better. But when it's in a situation like this where you're just negligent, you're doing grown people stuff, and now that you've gotten caught up in it, you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
And it makes it different. So Deborah, the word does say that, but me personally, I don't think that's in reference to terminating a pregnancy. James Copeland 9670 says she don't want no black baby. And I responded, she just want that eggplant. She just want that black eggplant. She don't want what come with it. But at the end of the day, she still has to be mindful and make sure she's taking precautions. If her and her man are not going to use protection as far as condom, she needed to make sure she was on birth control.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do something. If you're not ready to start a family, Sarah's dad was telling her, you're not ready to start a family. It's too early. You've thought about it. This is not something you want to do. You've weighed your options. Do it. Now her dad, because her dad probably like, I don't want no black baby, not from DC. DC was in their rehab facility from being a drunk. So I'm sure her dad was like, hell no, you ain't fit. No, get rid of that baby. Get rid of that baby. But yeah, James Copeland, that's I think that's some of it too. She don't want no black baby, especially from nobody that was in rehab and they only been seeing each other for 2 seconds. You know, they ain't been seeing each other long at all. Squint, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but this individual says, you are the only one that I want to do commentary on Country Wayne Skits. Everybody else can kick rocks. So thank you, Squint. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. And, thank you for choosing mine over others. So I do appreciate that. Karen Waddy or Waddy K4G says, I think she should have talked to DC. He has the right to know. He should have the right to make the decision about his baby. Well, normally it's the woman that makes the decision. Even if the man says, I want to keep the baby, the woman makes the decision to terminate.
It's true.
So I don't think she should have had a conversation as far as him having a say in it, because at the end of the day, the woman gonna do what she want to do. How many men prefer a woman to get rid of a baby and she keeps it? So many men. It's always her body, her choice.
That's right.
And it doesn't matter what the man thinks. Now, Karen, as far as her talking to DC, what do you think? Do you think Sarah should have told her boyfriend that she was terminating the pregnancy? She should have had a conversation with him?
She should have had a conversation with him instead of just doing it.
I mean, what would that help? Like, what would that help for her to have a conversation with him? Because having a conversation with DC is only gonna push him to, or make him push her into keeping it. He's only gonna resent her for terminating the pregnancy. It's gonna be so many negative things that come from having a conversation with him versus her just terminating. My suggestion was to terminate the pregnancy without telling him. Let him know you went to the doctor and the pregnancy test was a false read. It said she was pregnant and she really wasn't. That way, he doesn't know. He's not angry. He's not resentful. He doesn't have to think about what, she did. Like, he's just clear of all negative feelings. He's already had to deal with his ex-girlfriend losing a baby. That's something that's going to be on his heart for a long time. So that was my thing. Don't tell. But Karen feels like she should have told. Mary Lawson 8817 says, Sarah, who's pressuring you about that? Y'all play too much with putting God in all y'all's jokes and skits. And I said, I don't think they play with God, considering they are all believers. I do think they sometimes forget that some of their actions are not godly. At the end of the day, God still loves and God still forgives. And even in the skit, the dad told her, don't worry about judgment. God still loves you. God forgives. I think he said something to that effect. And at the end of the day, Mary Lawson, even though you always giving me a hard time, I don't agree with you on this. I don't think that they're putting God in their jokes, because this is a serious situation. This is not a joke.
No, it's not.
I Travel Sale had a lot to say, but basically what this individual was saying is that he and his wife has been together for 20 something years, and I'm thinking like, and during the course of the time that they've been together, they terminated a pregnancy. The third year together, he was a coward and afraid. So that's why I feel like they terminated a pregnancy. Mm-hmm. And all those years later, it still haunts him and taunts him. And that's why I was saying, as long as DC doesn't know anything, he doesn't have to live with it. Sarah, on the other hand, will. She'll probably have to live with it, but life goes on. You know, sometimes people take it hard, sometimes people don't. But at the end of the day, this individual right here still thinks about it years later, decades later. KC5GOS11 says, it's never time to terminate a pregnancy. That's what is irresponsible. You play, you pay. Remember, it's not the baby's fault that you're in this situation. And I said, nope, it's not the baby's fault, but it's a woman's decision. Sarah has made up in her mind that she doesn't want to keep the baby, and that's just it.
It's true.
And we can say, you know, yeah, she was irresponsible, because she was. She was very irresponsible being intimate without any protection, knowing she wasn't ready to start a family. So that was irresponsible, and it's a cowardly way of getting out of it. But at the end of the day, it's her body, her choice. I feel like this is a very touchy situation. Those who, the Roe versus Wade and all of that, those individuals are believers of Christ, and you have those individuals who lean toward your body, your choice, and you have those who lean toward you should keep the baby. At the end of the day, it's the woman's body, it's the woman's choice, and she has to live with what she does. Whether she's a believer, whether she's not a believer, everybody has a conscience. Yeah. And if you decide to make this type of decision, you just have to know that you have to live with it. Now, I remember an individual who had one, and I remember individuals who had 15. And I ain't exaggerating. I mean, okay, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I ain't too far from it. The person who had one regretted it her entire life. And she was never able to have children again. But the one who had multiple, we knew every time that she was about to do it, because she'll say, okay, y'all, I got to go to Tallahassee. So some people, it's like, hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I still believe Sarah should have done what she did without saying anything to DC and pretend that the pregnancy test was a false read. I've never termed a pregnancy. I've never been pregnant. I've always been on birth control because I knew I didn't want to have a child out of wedlock. Even when I was married, I wasn't ready to have children. He gave me the option to have children if I wanted to, but I did what I had to do. Was Sarah irresponsible? Yes. But at the end of the day, her body, her choice. Let's talk about it. I'm going to meet y'all in the comments. If you haven't, please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification, guys, so you'll know when I upload a video. And as always, we going to see y'all in the next hot seat. Now, was I in the hot seat too bad?
Of course not.
Yeah.
You just had it going on.
Exactly. And Squint said, I'm the only one that she want to listen to.
Hey.
Anyway, bye y'all. We're going to see y'all next week.